Hello? My check. Alright, it seems like we are live, so hello everyone, it's me, Zui, your friendly neighborhood Vietnamese. This episode 17 of my playthrough with Europa Universalis 4. And and I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. I've been busy for a couple of days, so right now I'm able to make a live stream for you all. So welcome, and hi Krang if you are still here. And I've seen your chat like before, so good evening to you, or good whatever. In case if you are in America, good morning to you, right? But without further ado, well, I need to report on sorry, something stuck on my throat. Well, just maybe you need a sip of water to wash it down.
No man's land intel. LOL, no, not like any, very diff I think. You're all in one R, don't you come to America, tongue sticking out. No man's land intel. That's mine.
Well, you can say that America is yours, right? But I'm about to change history right now. So I need to report to what we accomplished last stream first. I'm about to change your whole culture, Krang. So, don't you? Maybe you need to start eating pho and celebrating Lunar New Year's now. Let's just say. I need to put my documents somewhere else. God damn it! Just some of my work documents getting in the way of my desk. But yeah, I need to report. Last stream we
No man's land intel. Is we could use some more Asians in Silicon Valley. Bring women.
Yeah, you can use some Asians. You know, I mean, us Asians are beautiful, especially the women. So maybe you could enjoy that. But yeah, in yesterday's stream, we invaded the Ming, and it takes two stream for me to fully invade the Ming and fully conquer fully accomplish what the conquering as well, because we have to because they are like the Bagmanis, even though they're still friendly to me. They used to be my ally, but they also are like the Mings, and I could not break their alliance, so they turned to be my foes as well. But right now I'm trying to improve his opinion at least. Just to remand our relationship back, but the Ming, as you can say, it's still pretty big. He's still pretty big, and I think the Manchu's gonna wage a war to claim the mandate soon. But the Ming is also pretty big, and I managed to take a couple of provinces away from them. I mean, not much, but I gave some of the province back to my vassals here, Yue, and I managed to release a vassal named Dali as well. We call it Dai Li in Vietnamese. But yeah, and Hainan is almost probably conquered. And there's also one sinister colonial power here at our land named Portugal. And maybe I want to repel them back in the future.
Taking from China is probably not easy.
Yeah, it's not really easy, especially with this mod, because, well, if you can check the development. Where's it? That's a lot of. You can see there's a lot of province in the Chinese region, as you can see across the Yangtze River and the Yunnan rivers. There's a lot of province in this delta, as you can see. It takes me a while to fully conquer this province, and it takes a while to move around as well, as you can say. There's also more provinces in our area, so it balances out, you know. And there are a couple of Iceland province in Parasol and Spratly Iceland over here. Fun fact, Vietnam today still hold a couple of islands in Spratly, but we lost some of the island to China now. I mean in the Paso Island.
No man's land intel. Northern River is Yellow River, Lower River in Yangtze?
Yeah, I mean, just a rap got right there. Northern rivers is Yellow River. Yeah, I mean the lower river. I mean the lower river should be the Yellow River. I mean the Yangtze River. Yeah, I always mess things up. But the river in the middle of the region like this is called Yangtze, and up north there's the of course the Yellow River, and probably a couple of tributaries, right? Like the Bayan, it's called the Bayan Canal. Interesting.
No
But
man's
any
land
case,
intel. Okay, just making sure I wasn't confused. Tongue sticking out.
yeah, I mean I'm confused too because I don't really know Chinese geography that well. I only know some of the copper region. Us Vietnamese really want to study Chinese history instead, but I digress. Well, I conquered a couple of provinces, but now I'm moving into a bigger phase called America, and I'm about to establish the whole Central America, but Asian. But I also came up with a name for this region as well in the past. Let me check again. Hope you cannot see my screen because it's one of my private Discord server. But let me check a little bit. Oh yeah, so the central region should be named Địa Bình Trung, probably, right? Well, that's the name I have come for it. It's not like it's based somewhere else, but Địa Bình Trung in Vietnam roughly translated to English should be the central
No man's
region.
land intel.
What message are you saying? Sorry that
Dewey
my
Hung
TTS lady.
2H.
Stop.
Stream elements, welcome. Dewey Hung 2H.
Oh
No
god,
man's
she's
land
gonna.
intel. Welcome.
She's gonna.
No man's land
speak the
intel.
whole.
LOL, no, not like any. Very diff, I think. You're all in one R. Don't you come to America? Tongue sticking out.
She's gonna speak out all your
Dewey,
message
the
again.
virtual Vietnamese
Sorry
cat.
about that.
Stream elements, welcome.
Ding
No
dong
man's
ching.
land intel.
Well, funny
That's
you put
mine.
it that way, but it should be like
Dewey,
this.
the virtual Vietnamese cat. No man's land intel, welcome. No man's land intel. Is we could use some more Asians in Silicon Valley. Bring women.
Why she's rapping though?
No man's land
I'm gonna
intel.
play some a little bit of Diablo 2 jungle music, so maybe it fits. It will fit the theme.
Der Bin Trung.
Yeah, that should be the name. Yeah, what's wrong with my bot? I don't know, but it's funny from time to time, I must say. But yeah, a little bit of Diablo music. Let's see if it fits. But we're gonna continue our conquest and see what in the future might have a surprise in store for us. I think my military power needs a little bit of spending. I mean, I could research it up, but I prefer not to do that. Honestly, I'm really meticulous when it comes to resources. Maybe I will research it up because well, there's also a couple of things I accepted. For some reason, the France started investing in my country in terms of knowledge sharing, so we don't have to worry about printing press not spreading around the Zadig area right now, because the France are spreading knowledge
No
into
man's
my
land
land.
intel. Dub in Trung, Mexico. Tacos by any.
Yeah.
Dub in
Tacos.
Trung, Mexico. Tacos by any name are still taco. I mean, your empire has to be wealthy to maintain the bases so far away.
Yeah, I mean, in Vietnam, taco still spelled taco, so well, you could say there's Asian tacos, but maybe it's gonna come with a special ingredient instead. It'll be taco, but unlike taco, you might know. But what was Sam saying? Like, yeah, we're spreading confusion across the Central American region, so to say. I'm just gonna go on speed 5, and we're about to spend our military power. But yeah, the French kind of spread my printing press over here on the northern region, so over the Tonkin region. It should be all embraced, and I can finally embrace my printing press institution, so I can't wait for that. Thanks to the French, maybe we can befriend the French in this timeline instead of the French conquering us. Maybe they are paying respect for the Vietnamese Empire instead of seeing it like an easy prey in our history timeline. I think that is like an interesting take. The French being friendly to me now. It's spreading. They're spreading the knowledge to the Indochina region. Let me just check the printing press right now. So yeah, I mean almost colonialism is spread among Asia, but printing press is especially spreading among some of my province right now. We can see there's some printing press in the Namibian as well, but regardless, and the Australian region is looking pretty strong, and I've started colonizing New Zealand as well, and I can't wait to see a New Zealand colonial nation in the future.
Dewey Hung 2H. Drapsnat, welcome.
Hey,
Dewey
Drapsnat,
Hung 2H.
welcome to my channel. And Alexidra as well. What's wrong with this bot? Sometimes it reads messages, sometimes it
the
doesn't.
virtual Vietnamese cat. Drapsnat, welcome to my channel.
No, it's double fucking
the
speaking
virtual
my.
Vietnamese cat.
I'm just gonna disable. I'm just gonna
welcome to
disable.
my channel.
If you don't mind. Gonna disable my own message so they wouldn't say anything. Maybe that will work. You got the kiwi as well, yeah. Oh, I know the Asian tacos. Maybe not. Well, in Asia, maybe it calls. Yeah. That's Vietnamese taco, by the way, and it's called bánh tráng. So probably we'll export our bánh tráng over to the Central American region, so you can enjoy that. I would say it's pretty close to the tacos, but I don't know how tacos feels like because I haven't ate it.
No man's
I haven't
land in
ate it.
hell. No man's land in hell.
Why are they not speaking the message? God damn it. I need to reconfigure. Just a sec. Chat, yeah, why does it not do that? Weird. But whatever. I'm just gonna read your message instead. You got the kiwi as well. Control the press or let you. I mean, yeah. Well, when it comes to a message getting out of hand, we have special methods for it, right? Wink wink censorship. Totally is happening to this current regime. Yeah, I mean, bánh tráng. I mean, describe to. I mean, I would describe to you to see. So you would see if it's similar to tacos or not. So we can make our crispy flour to make like a crispy, shaped like a taco, right? It's some kind of a crispy. I wouldn't say bread, but yeah, which is probably a we'll describe it like a crispy bread, but inside we have like a. Inside we also have a couple of meat and stuff, and we have a vegetable in there as well, so like carrots or cabbage inside. And we use a special dip, like a special kind of fish sauce and other kinds of dip to make it a little bit tasteful. So maybe it sounds like taco to you, maybe it doesn't. So please let me know. But yeah, without further ado, we'll start exporting our local cuisines to over to the Central American region. Although I need to find a way to spend my military power points. This fortress is about to go down, honestly. Interesting, I haven't had an Asian taco stuff. Maybe if you want some bánh tráng, come over to the northern province. I think the southern could sell it, but I'm not so sure myself. But come to the northern province, we do have those Asian tacos here. Look out for Texan, they have attitude about people from the south of them. I thought in history the Texan kind of buddy with the Mexicans, unless I understand it wrong. Castilian Empire declared war against Maguna, one of the natives, but I don't know about them, honestly.
Dewey Hung 2H 01 Ella, welcome to my channel. Dewey,
Hey,
the virtual
01 Ella. I think I've seen you before
Dewey,
on my channel,
the
so
virtual
welcome.
Vietnamese cat. 01 Ella, welcome.
God damn it! What is the bot doing? Whitelist.
No man.
Oh, it tend to stop when one guy can speak, I think. But weird. We're gonna refresh the playlist. I forgot to loop it. But we're just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna change it anytime soon. Texan beat Mexico pretty bad, okay? They stole a lot of land. Texan was like a separated country, right? So interesting to know that they invaded Mexico. Maybe they allied to Mexico or somewhere. That's what I heard. I don't know. That's what I heard, that they allied Mexico somewhere in sometime in history, but I cannot recall. Totally got a misconception, maybe. But please let me know if they allied to Mexico at some time over the history, because I'm not so sure myself. That's what I recall, so maybe I could get something wrong. Where are you from, Intel, over in America? Are you from Texas? Regional nobility, pesky rebels, okay. They had to rebel against Hoàng đế. Not so much, you would say. What is this option about a reform society? Never heard of it. Nobility state against 10 loyalty. Although if you decide to reform society, maybe you should give less unrest or something. Maybe that would be an interesting thought about this whole decision. Oh, there's gonna be a revolt,
No
but
man's
I don't
land in
really
town.
mind about the revolts.
Well, I was born in West Virginia. Grew up in Georgia and Arizona and now live in Michigan.
West Virginia. What's West Virginia
No
from? I
man's
kind of
land
forgot.
intel.
Isn't it from like
I
the
don't know
middle
about Texas
region?
and Mexico alliance. I have never heard.
Yeah, maybe
No
I got
man's
something
land
wrong here.
intel.
Maybe I got something wrong.
But I don't like most of American history.
Don't like most of them American history, but I mean, your country doesn't have really that deep of a history. Well, it only have like 500 years of a history, but I digress. You could say the history could be sometime rich, sometime narrow, but well, the only history I've heard, the most significant about your country is like the war between the Southerners and the Northerners. I mean, no offense, but your country just doesn't have that much of a history compared to other countries.
No
So-
man's land intel. This is true, but we got a lot done. tongue sticking out.
You didn't got a lot done. That's correct because you managed to strengthen a government called
No man's
your
land
government,
intel.
right? And kind of spread your
Yes, civil
influence
war.
across the world. After that, a lot of countries kind of joke about America being an empire, quote unquote, right now. But well, you did spread your influence fine, right? I'm just gonna say. I think they got a lot of army drills done, so I'm just gonna redirect them to squash the rebellion, pesky rebellion, right? There's only one vote, my vote, and that's the Emperor's will. The civil war between the South and the North. Apart from that, your independence is also pretty well versed, I would say, right? Your independence against the British. Oh god damn it! What is this? Where are my troops? Hey? Oh, they are all cute over here. Well, in any case, we need to go back.
No man's land intel.
See, this
America is
why.
an empire. But it's the only empire in human history to conquest the whole globe and then give the lands back to the people, including our enemies. You ever realize that?
Yeah, I do realize that. Well, we're just not gonna discuss that kind of politics in my channel. But yeah, you have to give the Americans a dollar of the doubt. I don't know how do you call it, but yeah, I wouldn't go into that deep of the politics here over on my channel because you don't know what kind of audience I might have. But that's what I hate about EU4 because when your armies got attacked, they don't really there isn't really kind of a notification for you to know. It's really bad.
No man's land intel.
Let me
Credit where your
check.
tongue sticking out. Phil.
Yeah, credit where credit's
Hi.
done. Yeah. Hey Phil, welcome back to my channel. Hope you enjoy your stay. And yeah, Phil is from Malaysia, and we often have kind of a specific political talk when we hang out together. So welcome back. I want to know if I can get a specific notification. When one of our armies, I thought we would get notified, but I haven't got any notification. This bad, and we need to pull our troop back.
No man's land intel. Hi Phil.
Hey, I feel indeed. I think we you both met together at one point. Yeah. I think we can have some interesting discussion over here on the channel, if you don't mind. Probably in this episode we'll talk more about Americans. American regions because I'm waging war to the Aztec right here. I guess that's the battle, right? Battle of this place. So we'll need to pull our troop back, even though haven't got any notification for that, and it's pretty weird. But yeah, they cannot stop our army, so to say, even though they do have a defender's advantage. They're technology 9, meanwhile I'm technology what now? Technology 14. I'm about to upgrade my technology as well.
Hi you too.
Yeah, hi to all of you. I hope you enjoy your stay, even with the pupils who are only hanging out on the background as well. Hope you enjoyed what I bring to your entertainment today. Imagine, right? We have 31,000 over on Tenochi clan.
No man's
just like
land intel. You brought war elephants across the Pacific?
Hey, if it fits on the transport, it fits, you know. The war elephants. That's a joke when you play a game called. I think that's a joke. I brought it a lot. But if you play Age of Empires 2, a transport often has like 20 seats, and if a war elephants fit into a transport slot, then you can transport them all over to the Central American region. That's my logic with playing a game called Age of Empires 2. Hope you understand. I mean, you do play Age of Empires 2, Grant, so you do understand. But that's the joke. One elephant, you can transport one elephant like you transport a trooper, like you transport an infantry round up. Just gonna casually transport our war elephants to the new world. I think it would explain a lot.
No man's
But
land intel.
historically,
I'm just saying that will go down in history. A lot of people don't realize it, but Han Bible lost most of his elephants in the trip. But still goes down in history. This would as well.
Hannibal. Haven't heard of that figures before, so maybe you can explain a bit of him to my audience and me. But yeah, jokes aside, Vietnam doesn't really use elephant instead. I mean, some regions do use elephants, and we can see that elephants do serve a purpose in Vietnam War. Actually, they kind of transport the
No man's
goods.
land intel. LOL, I spelled it wrong.
Yeah, maybe you spelled it wrong, but I digress. But elephant does serve a purpose in the Vietnam War when they want to transport the goods back. They want to transport the supplies down to the south. They use elephants, but they don't really serve a combat purpose anymore.
No man's land
But
intel.
back then, there's
I
also
saw an army
a
with
combat
elephant
purpose.
icons.
Yeah.
Is that not elephant?
I mean, we do often use, I mean, in Vietnam, at least in the northern region, we use horse mostly instead. But yeah, I mean, some regiments do use elephant, but mostly the south they use elephant more than the north, I must say. And you know, with Vietnam history, mostly the central government gonna be in the north. So I would say the north use a lot of cavalry instead of elephants. But I digress.
No
But
man's land
the elephant
intel.
is still a signature.
Interesting.
But yeah, the elephant is still a signature, I guess, icon to all of the Southeast Asian countries. So they're just gonna use the elephant models instead. But yeah, we're just gonna wait for. I wish in this game you have the option to choose between elephants or cavalry, by the way. So instead of one line like Asian cavalry, Asian child cavalry, even though it's showing an elephant instead, right? But you have the option as a Southeast Asian nation to choose between cavalry and elephants. I think it would diversify it a lot, and our models would get updated with the option you take. I think that'd be interesting if they added something like that. But yeah, I mean, even though with the later reinforcement, our troops still managed to hold things. Surprisingly, the Aztec got managed. They managed to take hold on some artillery pieces. Maybe they stole them from. Maybe they stole the artillery from the Spanish. But I digress. But maybe they would have some power to defend the capital at least. But I give them some benefit of the doubt. But from what I recall, the Cortez siege on Mexican city, which were called Tenochtitlan back in the days. If I recall, that's only like 500-ish Spanish soldiers who stormed the capital of Tenochtitlan, and Tenochtitlan was held by like 30,000 men or so. I mean, very close to this, but that's gonna be a less number of Spanish who sieged down the city. But it was interesting that the Spanish almost managed to win. The Spanish almost managed to win before they retreat, but I mean they have already done their job back in the days, and the disease gonna spread across the region, so to say. And you would say the Spanish really got lucky with how they spread the disease instead of relying on their manpower to conquer this whole region up. it's really almost really funny to me that the weight of the Spanish force back then is only 5,000 who invaded the new world, and the native force is about counting civilian 20 million pupils. And that is like a huge it's like how you would describe aliens invading Earth, but instead you have a colonialization instead. But yeah, that was horrible, the things that happened to the natives. But well, I have no choice but to spread my whole influence across the Central America, because well, I need to end their rituals. I need to end their disgusting rituals that the Aztec and the Mayans is executing people to offer them to the sun god, and I would say they are worshipping the false god, and we must spread the god of Confucianism across the land, and they have to follow the Confucian faith or else. Yes, it's almost very comical. Well, with the thing I'm about to add. Well, but you get my point. I'm also role playing here. But we're gonna rely on Pad Pi to fish down this capital again. We can always count on Pad Pi. Hi, Commander Ruth. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you enjoy your stay.
No man's land intel. Yes, but something to know is the whole city was sick. Literally. People were dropping dead from fever more than Spanish bullets at the time.
Yeah.
And they had already been let into the city in good faith.
I guess they was even sick before the whole Spanish force invaded the city, right? So maybe they have more of a hard time to defend the capital. So that's the reason. That's the whole reason that Tenochtitlan kind of did fail, but not really. It kind of quiet down like a whimper, I must say, right? It's like an empire don't die with a bang, but with a whimper instead. And the Spanish did some interesting strategy as well,
No
because
man's land intel. Correct, them warriors would get up to fight the Spanish and die from trying to fight while sick.
yeah, that's kind of true. But I'm about to go into how the Spanish got hold into the whole region and influenced different tribes against the Aztecs. So it's not just the Spanish, you know. There's also different civil war that the Aztecs had to take care of. So let's just say they're gonna ally. In my case, I could establish tributary across the whole region between different tribes and stuff. And as you can see, most of them should hate
No
the
man's
Aztec.
land intel. Correct.
Yeah, I mean most of the different network tribes are hating the Aztec right now because they are an expansive force. So the Spanish took advantage of this and allied different tribes and make them worship them like a false god. That's what I'm about to say. I'm just chasing this one right now. Let's just see where it goes. But after taking this fort, we'll move on to this fort. Does seem like I can take it right now. We're just gonna wait for 1 more month, and we'll crush them for sure.
No man's land intel. Tlaxcalans.
Tlaxcalan. I don't know how my pronunciation. I don't know how I should say my pronunciation. Tenochtitlan, Tlaxcalan. I mean their pronunciation. Their pronouns would be Tlaxcalans. There we go. Hope you got. Good thing you corrected me there. Mexico City right now is being taken by the Spanish force, so I guess you would say the whole Tenochtitlan incident kind of happened. And
No man's land intel. No, that's the tribe that aided Cortez.
yeah, I mean different tribes aided
No man's land intel.
Cortez, right?
Te no chiclon, you said right. Tongue sticking out.
There was a tribe named well, I cannot recall right now, but there was a clan that named Chiclon or something like that. It's kind of similar to that, but I cannot pronounce it. Hey, you play Age of Empires 2, there's gonna be a campaign which covers how the as when you play the Aztecs, there's gonna be different tribes that unite the region as well. The Songhai, against the Mali. Maybe the classic tale of the age right here. Historically, it did happen, right? The Mali kind of waged war against the Songhaians. The Songhai were like a dominant power that rivals
yes,
the
that's how I know
Malayans.
it's that tribe. Tongue sticking out.
Well, I forgot the name already, but I recall there's a tribe name like that. Sadly, you don't really get to play the native perspective when you play Age of Empires 3 unless you play the Warship expansion though. But it's mostly about the Federation up there in the north that got covered. Back then there's also a Battle of Saratoga which got covered by Age of Empires 3, stuff like that. The last series, whatever. The campaign in Kingdom of Tenochtitlan has run into some severe logistical problems. As the season for salary payment draws nearer, it becomes abundantly clear that we will not be able to pay all the troops. There is simply no way for the money to get into them on time. Well, maybe you can just say they could just loot instead, but whatever. Our generals blame constant enemies raid on the baggage train and insist they plan everything in detail, but the problem is now our King Hiem, the first to solve. If we only play a fraction of our troops, many will no doubt desert. We could also pay to none of them, so we pay the elite troops by spending some manpower. I don't know how that works. I thought we would lose the cat instead, but whatever. Or leave them off the land, gonna lose army professionalism, but we don't gain anything out of it. Very interesting way how it works. It's only negative. But I can afford to lose some manpower. So we'll choose to lose some manpower, I guess. But yeah, after a month we'll crush the rebellions right here, pesky nobles regiments. Gonna take a while to save, maybe about 5 seconds, if you don't mind. High naval attrition, we will retreat this ship for now. Back over to New Hue. If you know the Hue city, I mean Krang. It's a city. It used to be a city. It used to be the capital when Indochina were under the administration of the French colonialism. And after that, but we'll crush the rebellion. There we go. And there was a cruiser. There was a American cruiser. What's the name? USS Hue City, if you know that cruiser. But it's interesting because one American cruiser got a name after one of the Vietnamese city. So interesting fact to all of you. And from time to time, I think USS Hue City also visited Vietnam and especially the city of Hue. So it's interesting to see that happens. Funny how American cruiser got named after Vietnamese city, but I digress. It was funny. It's not really funny. Excuse
No
my
man's land
vocabulary.
intel.
But
Are you guys
fascinating.
proud of our boat?
Yeah, we're pretty proud, and our press also talks a lot about the USS City, and it's like a homage. I think it's like a homage to Vietnam when it was under Vietnam War back in the past.
No man's land intel. Ah, so you're feeling American pride.
Yeah, American pride to some extent, but I would say it's more like a mark. It's more like a friendly mark that we left the war behind, and now we will cooperate instead
No
of
man's land
being
intel.
enemies to each other.
Now I know we can annex you. Make you 51 state.
I thought you already have your 51 state. I thought you already have 51 American state. I think it was Hawaii or Alaska, right? But you already have your 51 state, if I recall. Maybe 52, but not 51, you know. Or maybe if I recall wrong, please let me know. We'll send a little bit of scout over to this region. Think that will handle well.
No man's land intel. Well, if Puerto Rico join, we get 51, but no, we have 50 ATM.
Puerto Rico. Wasn't Puerto Rico from somewhere over in the Caribbean, if I recall. I only remember Cuba, but that's Puerto Rico over in the Caribbean, if I'm correct. Fortress under siege, that's good. At least there's a notification for that. But we took their capitals, so to say, and we're just
No
gonna take
man's
our
land
opportunity
intel.
when the British
sorta.
also. Yeah, sorta. I guess. Well, we're also taking the opportunity while the British is also invading Central America for some reason. But well, maybe they could contest the Castilians. Maybe they are taking Texas. I think they are taking Texas region and some of this. What do you call this region? That's the name, if I recall. The Yucatan region. I don't know. Put some of the artillery force in here, if you don't mind. That will take care of the fortress real well. We're just gonna take this whole province up by autonomously sieging them down. But yeah, what else? Also, it's pretty interesting. I think Mexico right now also have like a diverse. From what I've seen, the Mexico right now also have diverse cultures
No
and
man's
stuff.
land intel. Yes, Yucatan.
Yeah, Yucatan. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, Mexico right now also have diverse culture. Like right now, you can say there's also people still speaking Aztec or Mayan. Right now, even though it's like a minority and it's like a secondary language apart from Spanish. But yeah, people still speak in some region they still speak speak Mayan and Aztec instead of Spanish, and it's pretty interesting if you visit Mexico, for example. But I don't think Mexico is like a beautiful country compared to the first world country you have in America.
No man's land intel. You got to say it, Yucatan. The E gives it that American banjo twang.
Yucatan.
No man's land intel.
It's like how the Southerners
Yes,
say
they do.
Yucatan.
They are not dead languages yet, but close.
Not dead language, but close. Alright. So yeah, probably it's more like how the Vietnamese you also have Vietnamese currently also have different minorities region. Sorry, my mouth stopped moving because maybe I'm too close to the mic, but in any case, Vietnamese minorities, there's also different Vietnamese minorities, and 90% the king's culture right now. 90% of people's group are kings, but kings, really kings of the lands. But I digress. 90% are kings, but others are like minorities. But there are different minorities, like you have the Thais or the Hmong over in Tây Nguyên. So yeah, different minorities in Vietnam still speak their minorities language, but it's like a secondary language to them. But our primary language is still Vietnam in any case, Vietnamese in any case. But yeah, it's a fat tale to see some of the cultures which is starting to assimilate into the main culture, you know. Like you would say that's some controversial stuff over in Anatolia. I just read about it recently, but the Kurdistan used to be I don't know if there used to be a kingdom of Kurdistan, but Kurds it's like a really big cultural group, and right now they are being erased across the entire region, so to say. And the Kurdistan as like a region is being sandwiched by both the Turkey and both Turkey, Syria and Iran, so to say. So it's a harsh time for the Kurdish people, you know. Hey, Valentina Caras, welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy your stay. And whatever Chinese name I've pronounced here, KY, welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy your stay. Sorry that I cannot pronounce your name. But yeah, we're mostly talking about history if I have something to discuss with you.
No man's land intel. Everyone just want to love the Kurds.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Hey guys.
Hey KY. Hello to you too. Hope you enjoy your stay. And I think you're from Taiwan. From what I can see in your name, it's it seems to be to me traditional Chinese instead of Cantonese Chinese. Oh yeah, from Hong Kong. That's
Hong Kong.
interesting. That's interesting. Are you guys still safe there in Hong Kong? Because I heard that your central government, your Chinese central government, gonna have a lot of influence over on the Hong Kong's region. So I hope you guys are safe, and hope the Chinese internet wouldn't catch up with you all over here in Hong Kong. Just hope you're safe over there, because you used to have a lot of rebellions, and your Chinese central government crushed them a lot. So I hope you guys are safe down there. But without any case, I don't think I will go into a much deeper politic talks. But I don't care about the peoples.
Fight like Vietnam did.
Yeah, they fought bravely, like how the Vietnam fought against the colonial powers, I would say. But it's pretty ironic as well, I think, because the Hong Kong's region is being protected under like a British government, right? So it's more or less like a colonial. It's like a colonial region instead, but it got their own autonomy. Yeah, it got their own autonomy. But what did you just say there? Kick China out. Yeah. But from what I've seen, they kind of lost their war, and I mean, it has been a long time, but I think the deal they had, the deal the British have with the Chinese to have Hong Kong as like a separated region is now expired. So I mean, you cannot blame the Chinese to start annexing Hong Kong right now, but well, it's more or less gonna be a lot of pain for the people. So as my motto say, like stay safe, everybody, in the end of every stream, because I really do care for the people, and I really find that kind of a message endearing.
Yeah, they are stuck now without incredible violence.
Yeah, but well, they used to can fight in the past, but it seems like right now they have less of a choice. But From what I've heard recently, though, the Chinese youth and a lot of Chinese region, not just counting Hong Kong right now, also rebel against the whole government. So maybe you guys stay safe around there because the Chinese government after the rebellion just gonna crack them the citizen hard, so to say. I need to take some water. But we'll leave the doom and gloom out of the way because I'm spreading my I'm spreading my cultures along the Central American region, and soon enough they will have to eat pho and
No man's land
eat
in town.
noodles.
But
or
yes,
eat
good wishes for the
banchan.
people regardless.
You know, Vietnamese taco.
People just want to live their life. No man's land intel.
Yeah, best wish for the people.
I really can't support expansionism unless it's American. Tongue sticking out.
That's a little bit biased, but well, it's funny if you put it that way. But my best wish for the people, and I won't talk much about politics, but it's always my best interest to keep the people. To hope the people safe, you know. Even though as like a individual, I cannot do anything much, but it's I think it's my. It's not really, I wouldn't say I would put it like a duty, but it's my interest to spread awareness to all of you about what's happening among the world. God damn it, the British kind of took the province away from me. So maybe I will just raise them then. I'm just gonna raise them to get all the province for myself first. Maybe I was just gonna explore instead. That's just gonna be my plan. I'm just gonna explore this whole region. Yeah, expansionism. I mean, what if it happened across like two different small countries? What the UN move in? The UN kind of move in after the whole Cambodian genocide as well, but probably to protect Cambodia being a genocide by their government, quote unquote, instead. Like if you don't know, there's also my local news network kind of informed that the Cambodian is celebrating the 45 years of independence from Pol Pot. So gotta celebrate because Pol Pot in a short amount of time kind of killed in the Pol Pot regime. It's think of it like a Nazi Germany, but even more extreme. But in the Pol Pot, during the Pol Pot regime, Pol Pot kind of killed over 25% of their population, and so after Pol Pot they kind of challenged Vietnamese government by raiding a Vietnamese village in the Vietnamese border, and so we have to move our troops in and quell the whole incident. I guess after that we did establish a puppet government after Pol Pot regime failed for about 10 years. And after 10 years it turned back to being Cambodia, but I digress. After that we just need to maybe let's just think it like a peacekeeping, right? But yeah, after peacekeeping Pol Pot regime is gonna fall, and people celebrated because of that. I don't think a lot of people like the Pol Pot regimes, even though with the most psycho fan Pol Pot fan. You can see that deep down the philosophy is plainly wrong. If you don't know Pol Pot regime, please let me know, or I could explain Pol Pot to you. I think it'll be an interesting topic that I will go to in my channel. But yeah, during Pol Pot regime is also part I think it was like the background how Pol Pot came to power. It's like how CIA did it. Like the CIA have no the CIA kind of made a some decision to bomb Cambodia. So I guess some people turned radical and joined Pol Pot force. But also Vietnamese government in that time kind of aided the Pol Pot regime. But they don't know. They aided the Socialist Party, but they don't know that Pol Pot will be in charge, and they don't know how Pol Pot came to be a monstrous man like he became to be. So you cannot blame anyone for the rise of Pol Pot, so to say. But different factors kind of make it happen. We don't really know how nasty of a guy he might become. So yeah, it's like a lesson that we need to learn from the past, I guess. Maybe I'll build on. I need to save my money for the institution that I'm about to embrace. I think we should be close to it. I think we should be close to it. Very close. We just need the money now. I think after establishing this whole region up, I think today will be like a shorter stream because I need to because I have some work coming up and I need to finish it. Gotta be busy a lot in the recent days. Sorry about that. But apart from that, one more week and it should be a Lunar New Year. So can't wait to do a stream until then. Maybe we'll do a bit of a stream before it's Lunar New Year. So I'm just gonna sum up my plan for the next stream. Oh, what the heck is it? We're joining force with the British, I guess. But that's a lot of troops. That's a lot of British troops. But that's also a stack wipe. Interesting. Hope I get some war score out of that. Probably not, but still. That's a lot of troops. But yeah, maybe a lot of people don't know a lot of about the natives' history and cultures. I feel hope you still enjoy your stay again. But let me know if you have an interesting topic to discuss with me, Phil. But I must ask you, Phil, do you know about Pol Pot and Cambodian history? Because I mean, you guys are neighbors, so maybe you would know a little bit about Pol Pot. Do let me know what you think about Pol Pot, if you happen to know him. Maybe we can discuss about Pol Pot right now to the stream. It just happened in my tangent that I happened to discuss Pol Pot, so just to let you know, it's not just a random topic. But yeah, I need to save some money for some institution embracement. Also gonna say some plans about my next stream. Save some plans for my next stream. Maybe I will come up with an idea to make a. I still do want to make a Age of Empires to a video, like edited video for you over on the YouTube channel. God damn it, Bengal! Why do you have to slander our merchants? Got him ungraceful bitch.
Phil.
Yeah, Pol Pot very bad.
Pol
Yeah.
Pot, the very bad people.
Yeah, very bad, but maybe I'll go about how Pol Pot came to power. Like, yeah, maybe we can spare the part that he came to power, but let's just say how bad he managed the whole country. At least I think a lot of people agree that Pol Pot regime was bad, so we can just discuss about him, like how we discuss Hitler without any repercussion, right? Without me being upset anyone. So after Pol Pot came to power, they established something called Year Zero.
No man's land intel. Should I make a vid on it? Tongue sticking out.
Yeah, sure, No Man's Land. I mean, I wouldn't make a video about Pol Pot or politics in my channel, but feel free if it's like your channel. I think it would attract a lot of audience. But yeah, maybe I will share something I know with you. maybe I will share everything I know with you, No Man's Land, for your next video. What did you say? So Pol Pot, after he took the whole country, he established something called Year Zero, and it's like a way for Pol Pot to rewrite the whole Cambodian history, and with him came into power. Although his real name would be Salot Sa, by the way. Not Pol Pot, but Salot Sa. Pol Pot is like the way he called his name, like politics and something along the line. But Pol Pot is like his nickname. But when he rules over Cambodia, he also changed the name of the country to be Kampuchea. And after that, I think it's after that incident, Vietnam kind of called Cambodia Kampuchea afterwards. And I mean, no offense to the Cambodians, but we kind of called your country Kampuchea afterwards. But apart from that, Pol Pot kind of changed the whole history and culture. And let me record. So Salot Sa, he doesn't, when he ruled over Kampuchea, he doesn't really call himself like a supreme leader or anything, but...
No Man's Land intel. Oh.
Yeah, but after that, he doesn't call himself a supreme leader like how North Korea works. In North Korea, your leader's name have to be known far and wide, right? But in Cambodia, he keep himself anonymous, and he just say he's like I kind of forgot the name, but that he used to call himself. But it's like a mysterious deity that they managed to deal with. They managed to dealing with, and so after that, they would need to repurpose. They would need to repurpose their fields. If you heard about killing fields, by the way, there's something called killing fields that it's like if you think like Pol Pot kind of took their whole civilians over in the cities back to the rural countries area, and they established like autonomous zones over there. And in the autonomous zone, there's also a killing field, and they repurpose their farming lands to be the lands of killing instead. When their citizens manage to escape from the grasp of their local autonomous regions. But yeah, it was a horrible thing, and we have a lot of films being done about Pol Pot already, and I've watched 2 of them. One of the American films that got made, and one of the films that got made by the Cambodians, I might add. But I kind of forgot the name. It was I kind of forgot the name. But in any case, yeah, they did a lot of killing. So that means 25% of the population got killed off by the Pol Pot regimes, and that's a great meme on how if you look at the infographics on the Cambodian people when along the year of 1975 to 1979, that's gonna be a huge drop in the age range of the pupils in there. But in any case, so we're glad that it's over, and that's also how Pol Pot didn't get died. Pol Pot didn't get prosecuted after he lost his regime, by the way, to the Vietnamese when they established like a puppet government. But instead they flee into Thailand, and in the southern Thailand they managed to establish a camp, and there will be regiments of Khmer Rouge that still exist. And
New Adelding chat free Red Heart. New Adelding chat free.
oh god damn it.
New Adelding chat free.
It's one of the bot. I need to ban them again. God damn it, they find me again. Maybe I'm attractive, but I keep attracting this kind of bots. But no much that intel. Do you want to be one my moderator? I think I would be honored if you are my moderator. If you are catching my stream a lot, that maybe you can become my moderator. And while when I'm streaming like this, I think it'll be useful to have some kind of helping hand, and I would appreciate if you help me out. But I need some consent from you first. So what would you say? Would you become my moderator? I'd be honored if you accept my offer. To cleanse the land of the heretics, of the thoughts heretics that we need to cleanse. You need to cleanse those thoughts, you know. We cannot have them here. It's not really the land for them. But yeah, I'll wait until you accept my offer. No Man's Land. I mean Crunk. Don't think I will take over like 100% of that land, but I will take as much as possible, I guess. Hope the British isn't really racing me down here. But I want to get out most of the land if possible. Really good that the French is also helping me out, you know. Really good that the French is also you can see that Ireland is also helping the British here. I think in EU4, in the vanilla EU4, you don't really see Ireland forming that much, right? But in this mod, it seems to be really a thing that islands form, and they happen to be a British friend. Maybe they are historical friend in the mod, so islands happen to be spared. Here become self-sustaining. That's good, and we're just gonna colonize a little bit more over in here, for example, so I can befriend this guy. I need to send them there though. Send the colonists there. Send my regards. If I happen to have some troops over here, maybe I'll send them as well. Doesn't seem that I have, but I will just retrieve some of my transporter. We'll just fold them like this. We'll set a captain to it, and we'll transport it back to here. Also, the Portuguese is also consolidating the region over here, and maybe I'm making 3 enemies at once here. So it's like a really dangerous playthrough as well, but I really like the challenge. But we're just gonna enemies both the British and the Spanish and the Portuguese right after that. But maybe we can befriend the French. So I need to focus my attention on the French now. I will probably, if they have any colonial line in the future, I will avoid clashing the borders with the French, so to say. Still waiting for that offer, there were Crunk, if you want to accept my offer. Maybe I'll embrace it right now. Check on my yeah, we don't have any inflation, so we can embrace printing press right now, finally. And we'll research when once it stopping ahead of time. I mean, that's also I guess we need to research it now, just to get rid of the military power. And my military is now 15, so that's good. We do need a little bit of power up, almost all possible for this whole military campaign. I don't know if we want to do a React stream today as well. I think it's always that's always a stable. It's always a stable idea for me to have like an interactive reaction. I don't know if it will bother any one of you, but I haven't seen any response, so maybe you can say if I'm doing a React, it's like fine or not. React content, maybe. I mean, But we'll prevent the British from taking any more now by splitting our armies like this. Maybe I can even vassalize this guy. Maybe instead of killing Aztec over here, I can vassalize him. Although I don't have enough war score for it though. But yeah, maybe I want to make peace with him now because maybe he will lost this region to the British. So I just need to take him right now. We're just gonna take like this, I think. We're just gonna seize a whole bunch of their land. I think it's in one go. I think would be possible. But yeah, we don't care about we don't care that much about aggressive expansion over here in the American region, right? We don't care that much, so to say. We're just gonna get all of them. Interesting how that works, you know. I guess that part as well. I would take it. We'll take all of it. Extremely profitable to take all the lands here. And on top of that, maybe I can make them vassals. Probably not. But maybe some war reparation and some money. I can get some money out of them. Or maybe I know some treaties. Enforced military assist, I don't think so. Don't really have a use for it. Maybe I can get some prestige by that way. But yeah, this will be the peace that I'm about to make. So we establish our new colonial power over here in the Middle American region. Really do excuse me if I...
Phil, welcome.
Well, I guess the TTS lady is catching some message, some old message, but
No Man's Land
digress.
Intel. Well, I was born in West Virginia. Grew up in Georgia and Arizona and now live in Michigan. No Man's Land Intel. I don't know about Texas and Mexico alliance. I have never heard.
God damn it.
No Man's Land
Did they just,
Intel.
I'm gonna
But I
refresh.
don't like most
I think I'm
American
gonna
history.
refresh speech chat. I'm just gonna refresh it. So we would catch old message like that for some reason. But yeah, after we make the peace deal, we should be able to establish our new colonial nation. Just like so. Very nice indeed, don't you think? Dai Viet and Mexico has a nice ring to it. So we establish our Vietnamese tackle over here. Fair enough. Also, we need to call them first. Forgot about that fact. Maybe we were just gonna... let us check the region that we may have here. So this will be the
Phil.
whole Mexican region, I guess.
What happened while I go?
You know, maybe some more find my channel. But I digress. It's just some bot that happened to find my channel. We're just gonna leave him for now, but I would really need to have some mods. I really need to create some mods for my channel in the future, if because right now I cannot just out-tap and ruin the whole experience. But I digress. Maybe I need some mods for my channel, so Phil, maybe the application is open for you if you're diligent enough to become one of my mods. But I wouldn't just force it upon you. I'm asking about Intel because I know that guy first, because he's one of my Discord friends. So I'm just found first to be one of my mod. I need to figure out what province I can make core here. Maybe I just gonna core like 6 of them, something like that. Maybe we'll just call this little regions. But our overextension over right now is pretty high, so we'll call this as well. Call this. Those cost least, so we'll just call them up. We'll call this as well. Probably that's 5 already, so we'll leave it away with just 5, and after that, the whole region should be ours.
So how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine at the moment. Although getting a bit busy lately, so I need to have my stream. I need to take a lot of break and schedule my stream, so it won't intervene with my real world things. So I will probably occasionally stream, so to say. So I'm just gonna talk about my whole schedule stuff with you. I will stream less today as well, so probably around 2 to 3 hours, just to catch up with my real world schedules again, if you don't mind. But after taking the whole colonial nation, maybe we can head for something better. I'm just thinking, what kind of conquest shall we make after that? I do have a conquistador over here. I think do have a conquistador, so we can scout around. I thought we need to move this guy down over here, and I guess the British just gonna take away those provinces, and fair enough. But what seems to be a significant power over on Mexico, so I mean, with that, it's pretty good. And we are building also building a bastion on a new way as well. And in the future, we shall call this Intermission, something like that.
Phil. Conquest South Africa.
That'll be a long name for that, but yeah, very nice. We are marking our territories. Because over on for Japanese Empire, South Africa, you say? I don't know if that's a good idea, Phil, because South Africa, I mean, we can establish like a colony over there. I think it's like it's still a pretty good idea, because maybe from Cape you can just transport your trade over into Caribbeans. Maybe we can collect trade in the Caribbeans, but I mean, it's not really that good. I think it's pretty good if you conquer here, but I mean, I'm talking about how EU4 trade works, right? But we can also establish trade over in South America, but not too much. But maybe instead of trade, we're just gonna establish our whole empire instead. We're just not gonna focus that much on trade, but we're gonna focus on our influence abroad. But maybe if you're aiming for trade, you want to maybe conquer Japan. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to conquer Japan. But that's just my idea. But your idea is to conquer this region, and I think it's easier. Maybe after I put in my colonies over here in this region, I'll move my colony over in South Africa. But from Japan, I think you can transport your trade over in here. I don't think you can really transport your trade downstream I don't really think so, but yeah. I think in the vanilla you can transport your trade downstream, but not in this mod. So I guess not. I guess we're not gonna conquer Japan. But let's just check if there's a better option. Check if there's a better option. Panama it's a pretty good trade region as well. But yeah, maybe not that much of a land for me to take. Maybe we need to take Bengals. Maybe we need to take Bengals to establish more trade around that region. Or we can keep going for China. But going for China is a bit odd, don't you say? I don't think I want to establish my territories over on China anymore. It would feel pretty wrong. I wouldn't like the border if I managed to go into China, something like that. But yeah, after this one, maybe I'll go for like how you suggest, Phil over on to Cape of Good Hope, and I stream Faher. Thanks for coming to my channel. Hope you enjoy your stay. I think you're bored, but whatever. In case if you're human. Yeah, I mean maybe over on Corando, but the VJ Empire is my friend, so I will avoid taking their lands. Maybe I can establish both on Chengdu. I mean, Chengdu should be here, right? And the trade could flow into Canton and over to Malacca, so it could work, you know. We shall establish trade over in here, in this region, and I think it's fine. Focus, let our focus be a little bit on that, and maybe a little bit on Alaska, maybe a little bit on Alaska. I know, since maybe if the trade flows to Asia, maybe we could still gain some benefit from it. Or maybe we can focus another trade post on Panama. I think it's also a good idea. So we can focus on our snake land over here in Central America. Honestly, it's like a second. It's like a bigger. Don't you think? If the Vietnamese country is shaped like an S, a Latin alphabet for S, right? It's how our country kind of shape. Now it's more like a Z letters, but if we establish another trading post over on Central America, it's like a second Vietnamese territory. What feel kind of snaky like, right? So we really have like a snake. We have a snake country like this, like Chile. We almost look like Chile at this point. But we do have our snake country, and we will establish a second trade, but a snake country over here in Central America as well. And it's my duty to make something like that happen. I think it should be pretty interesting instead. And after that, I think we'll colonize over in Taiwan before Portuguese kinda took all of them. Without me noticing, the Portuguese even expanded here in Taiwan. That seems to be a problem, but maybe we can invade the Portuguese in the future and take all of their land instead. And I don't think the Portuguese can keep up with it. Let's just check what country the Portuguese may ally to before we wage any war here. Navarra, maybe I can wage war against Navarra, but they don't seem to ally a lot of people. But yeah, maybe I was just gonna build something, and just gonna politely decline Japanese offer by saying we don't have enough money. Always work, you know. Gotta build some force over here. That's fine, and we're not gonna. We'll accept the offer, but let's just say right now we are short on the money. trading for soldiers from Tundran. I guess we're just gonna decline that. But right after that, we will just gonna improve relation with them. Knowledge sharing kinda ends. That's good because we embrace the whole institution. That's good. We're also improving relation with them, but it doesn't seem that they would be interested in forming a relationship out of this moment. That's just really bad, you know. I really do want to make friends with the French instead, but it seems like they want some of the land. Let me check. They want some of the Australian land for some reason. For some reason, but I guess they will just gonna be an asshole to me from now on. It's kind of a shame, you know. I want to establish a friendly relationship with the French instead in this timeline. Also, it's very profitable to build something over in Guangnan. Maybe I'll build something for them. Apart from that, I want to expand my trade a little bit. Bengal's gonna declare Ming as a rival, that's fine. Gonna have some local traders demand 8. You know, this random event can happen a lot.
You know classic AI.
What do you mean by classic AI? Don't you mean classic? I guess we're just gonna do this. Bagman okay, accept my friendship. Get some trade efficiency and diplomatic skill, that's something. Pearls, okay. Castilian's gonna declare war again. Colonia, in this game I see a lot of wars being declared by the colonial empires. What else goes to trade embargoes, because I cannot rival somebody, right? I cannot rival the Bengalis, I think. So we need to not embargo some of them. I need some diplomat. Thank you very much. Revoke the embargo. Somehow I managed to surpass him. I guess by embracing my institution, I managed to become the first great power. That's really good. That's really interesting. We managed to become the first world power, even surpassing the Ottoman Empire. That's really strong right there. Even though you must say, like, if you take a look at my land, right, you wouldn't say that I have a lot of land. Like, I just have a lot of snake land over here on this region, and we just recently took this as well in the Mexico region. But yeah, I would say we do have significant territories. But a lot of them are concentrated because some of the provinces over there are really small. If you can see them well enough. But yeah, I was surprised that to see that we are the number one great power. I'm surprised to see that fact right there. It will manage to stay in that position though. I don't know.
Phil. You know Bahasa Malayu and English very similar words.
Bahasa Malaya. I do know Bahasa Malaya. It's like a language, right? But apart from that, I don't know that much. But I just think all you Malay speak Malaysian because in the time that I visited Malaysia, I do see you both speaking Malaysians and English. So I keep wondering myself if Bahaya Malaysia is still Malaysians or not. Maybe you can elaborate more to me. But that would be interesting to discuss. We're just gonna wait. It's just 9%, but I would like to get rid of all of this overextension as fast as possible. We're just gonna wait, I guess. Maybe while we're waiting, we can wage war with these little tribes. Should be fine. Cannot establish tributary anymore because outrage attitude. Maybe after some years, the aggressive expansion will go down. Probably it wouldn't go down fast enough. I don't think so. We're just gonna build spy, I guess. Just gonna build spy to each one of them. And I was just gonna stop improving currying favor with this guy. Where's it? Currying favor. There we go. The way they kinda do the is a bit confusing. But I need to spy on 2 of this small province now before the British gonna take their hands on it. But thank God it's a game because well, they still have a Texaco over there. That's interesting. The Pyramid of the Sun. Well, the great project that the mod kinda added, but not present in the vanilla game. So if the religion is Natuato, which we wouldn't be embracing. I mean, we will embrace that, but we're harmonized with Taoism now, so that's good. But we'll probably embrace Naoto in the future. Oh, actually, I have already embraced them because I've harmonized myself with the pagan religion group, so I guess that works. But yeah, it's good to have a Naoto embrace now, so I wouldn't need to embrace their cultures again. But I doubt I would gain some benefit though, unless my main religion is gonna be Naoto. I wouldn't say it works. So probably they are 1 province minor now, unfortunately. Oh, they still have some province over here. So I guess I can spy them once again. Just gonna
Phil.
First
First is not called language Malaysia because Malaysia is not language.
You would say Malaysian is a language, right? But even Bahasa Malaysia, it's like your language, so I don't know. Please let me know. It's not Malaysian, I know, but maybe Bahasa Malaysia. We'll assign Phillips over here. It's you. If you can recall, Phil, it's you. But we'll send him to protect our province over here. Maybe I can just invade like this. It's fine because they have inferior tech anyway. They should have inferior tech. Have some Ducat trade offer again, but maybe I will establish. Maybe I will just gonna spend time building something. Yeah, let's just say I don't have money right now. Okay. We're still earning our money still, and in the future our technology will get a reduction cost because we improve ourselves with the institution. So I cannot wait to just get the military administration 15 because we'll be able to build powerful buildings from there. Truce with Bruneians has ended. That's good. We can finally invade them.
New
wink,
site
wink.
with hot girls red heart.
God damn it, it's
New
them
site
again.
with hot girls.
They managed to find my channel again.
New
God damn
site
it.
with hot girls.
Can I ban him from here? Probably not. But I need to assign him from my second. I wouldn't mind them that much for now. They can't have their win. I need to take my L here because
Phil.
I cannot manage them right now.
Some people confusion because Malaysia is country, but the language call Malayu.
There should still be some similarities, right? Like Malayu. I see, so it's Malayu. So it's oh yeah, I do remember. It's not Bahasa Malaysia, but it's Bahasa Indonesian instead. But yeah, I often get mixed up with your language, with the Malaysian language and Indonesian language. So I often mess that up. So it's Bahasa Indonesian instead. So probably your country language would be Malayu instead. So sorry about the confusion. But Malayu for me still sound a bit like Malaysia, so I still see the similarities. I don't know about you. Get some trade going. Why not? We're about to establish our new colonial power soon. So I would like to rename some of the province. This one have a Puerto. This one could be Puerto Rico, I think. Right? Not really Puerto Rico, but some place in Mexico. Sorry, I got confused there. But I can probably name it something like something random. But I think this name is pretty good. So probably instead of Hucho, we can name it something a bit more Vietnamese. I mean, still gonna make it similar, I guess. But yeah, we're just gonna name some province. I mean, not all of them, but just some province. I guess the Transionian gonna be a great power from now on, so need to watch out for them. I mean, it's always typical for the Central Asian
Indonesia
nation.
and Malaysia language was very similar, but there are some different words.
Yeah, I can see they were pretty similar feel. I can see it's like that. And even the Tagalog language as well. I mean, I cannot differentiate them all because I'm a Vietnamese. I cannot even speak your language. So, I mean, it's a bit awkward. But I always think that Tagalog and Indonesian and Malayu have some similarities with each other. I really do think that. And I have no other saying about that. I have no other comments on that, sorry. Maybe you can teach how you say hello in Malayu. How do you say hello in Malayu? Please let me know.
Phil. We still know what Indonesia say.
Maybe some words are like similar, right? Because some Vietnamese words are also borrowed from Chinese. You could say it's like a similarities between the Malayu and Indonesian language. Some Vietnamese words are also borrowed from Chinese as well. So that's some similarities. But because Vietnam is like a dominant power, like back then, we used to rule over the southern regions, like the we used to rule over the Laotians and the Japanese. So well, we managed to dominate in terms of language. I feel like. So I guess a lot of them gonna be similar. Our language does sounds a bit more scenic in nature. So a lot of words are borrowed from Chinese and stuff like that. It's just interesting, you know. But sometimes it could be a bit political because you can see that cultures kind of got shaped by politics as well. Maybe I can even build a soldier's workhouse now, but over to my vassals, you know. But we'll play like a waiting game here before we can manage to claim the land. Also, I would like to build spy more onto him. Although I should have a truce with him right now, so probably not. Well, we'll call this soon enough. We'll call that soon enough. And I need to mercenary groups, so maybe I was just gonna make them instead. We're just gonna put Kiem Leung in our ranks, and we'll do a little bit of a hunt for the 7 cities. If you don't know, this like a reference to the 7 cities myth you have over in America. Like there was like a Spanish myth about the seven cities of gold, and they spent a lot of effort to hunt for those cities, and over time that myth kind of got spread throughout Europe, and a lot of colonial power just jump in for that. It's like a funny thing that happened in history. But yeah, I'm really glad by the way that we managed to surpass that bug by being buddied up with the French, and we managed to get some institution out of them. Apakaba. So that's hello in Malayu. That's interesting. I mean apakaba, right? Has a nice ring to it, I think. Apakaba means hello. Has a nice ring to it, I would say. Our vassal smugglers. So we went into this event. Embargoes against our rivals are not working as well as we have hoped them to, and one reason might be that one of our vassals is still trading with them. Whatever, I don't really care that much. So smuggling goods back forth and thus interfering with our goals, making us appear weak. I guess that would matters a little bit. The smuggling it's very minor, but could become very damaging to us. On the other hand, powerful business interests would be willing to pay for ignoring the smuggling. Continue their endeavor, and we get some money out of that. We lose some prestige, and they gain some liberty design. That's fine with me though. That's fine with me. I don't see any problem with that. I know it's like a problem in the future. State smuggling is like in there. That's fine. We can get a little bit of money. That's fine. Smuggle all you like. I thought I bought the game, but I must go. What game did you buy? This game, this game, or did you play CK3 instead in the past? So you bought this game, right? Glad you have spent your decision to buy this game, by the way, and maybe we can play some games in the future. Maybe off stream, but yeah, it's been great talking to you, Krang, and I hope you enjoy your stay here. Don't really use that word in our community much because language Malayu was really hard to learn. Really, it's really hard to learn Malayu instead of learning English, you would say, because it's like I think for a lot of Vietnamese it's like a total opposite, because English, even to foreigners, are pretty easy. I mean, Vietnamese, even to foreigners, are pretty easy. And we do speak our own language instead, but we do learn English to accommodate with a lot of foreigners that invested in our countries, so to say. But yeah, I mean, English is like a popular language, so you all need to learn English, so to say. But don't you think that if it's just you or a lot of people do think that Malayu is like a harder language than English? And what is the case? If what is the reason if that's the case? Advancement of mobility, whatever. We went into that event before. Maybe I can even see some lands because I don't really need to guarantee their independence, maybe. I just need to save my games in the meantime. Not really hard, you learn the basic things. The same case can be said about Vietnamese as well. And I guess it's the same case you can say with a lot of languages. I mean, from my experience though, I kind of find Japanese kanji pretty hard, but Japanese kanji is like an advanced section of Japanese. From my experience learning Japanese, they have like 3 different alphabets. One is hiragana, started by the mainland Japanese, and one other alphabet is started by the northern Japanese, which was called the Ainu people. I mean the katakana alphabet was invented by the northern Japanese, by the Ainu people, and after that we have the kanji. They have the kanji alphabet, which is basically the Chinese alphabet, and you basically need to learn Chinese if you want to learn kanji, and that's one hard thing about the Japanese language. I would not like to grasp the Japanese language once I got myself into learning kanji because it's pretty hard. Would not able to grasp the Japanese language anytime soon because of kanji. Yeah, I'm saving money for something. Maybe I just gonna build this one up. Get some global modifier. I think it's pretty good, right? You can have a more diplomatic relation. I think that's good. Still waiting for this though. What country? Which country should I invade next? It's Thursday. Gonna invade Kutai. I mean, gotta invade Brunei. It's time to invade Brunei. Yeah, interesting enough. Well, I guess I will just gonna leave some troops to camp over here. Maybe we can leave the 13k camping here. Gonna get them into a new way to rally the troops up. Probably transport them back. Probably just gonna station them here. I wouldn't mind station them here, but our transport need to go back to do some business, you would say, because I need to transport them over to Brunei. Just gonna transport them here before we wage another war. That is. But yeah, maybe in the meantime we can do a little bit of a reaction instead, so I cannot wait to show this video to you all. Although I've been streaming for 2 hours, so maybe I can go for 1 more hour before I can call it end. Oh, not really this video.
Zoomers, so I have something very urgent to talk to you about.
God damn it! Shut up, Luke. Shut up, Luke. I don't want to hear you ranting right now. But I do have a video for you all. I'm just gonna search for it. So we're gonna react to what about his again, and I do think his channel is like a stable content for this kind of stream. So we're gonna react to 10 countries that are the hardest to conquer. So yeah, relating to the topic of this game at hand, it's all about conquering different countries and stuff like that. So I think it's really related to playing this game in hand, like the topic of playing this game. But we're gonna react to the 10 countries that are hardest to conquer by What About His. So let's hit it. Oh, god damn it. I need to reload my page again. Not gonna make it audio only. But if you had learned advanced Malay, yeah, you will cry because there's some. Yeah, I think in a way from how you describe it, it's like how Japanese works to me. Like if you first start learning Japanese, the alphabet is pretty easy. I mean the hiragana and katakana alphabet is pretty easy for the most part. But if you start learning kanji in Japanese, you will suffer. Let's just say you will suffer. So probably Malay is more like that, right? But we'll react to this video. Let's just give it a watch. Let me know if you can see the video just fine. I cannot hear any sound though, for some reason. Cannot hear any sound for some reason. Weird. Maybe I need to refresh it. Did you hear this sound? Or is it just me? I do think it's pretty weird that it's not this. Oh, because I muted the tab. There we go. But we should have sound now, so that's good.
History is often cruel. Most nations don't make it. Their names litter the pages of history and their ruins roadsides around the world. Once great empires like Carthage, Rome, the Mauryans, Macedonians, or Aztecs.
I don't know, yeah, the Carthage used to be big. The Macedonian, I don't know about them. But yeah, if you know about the Punic War, it was the war between the Carthaginian and the Romans empire. Both are very big empire, but Rome managed to win and establish their whole influence across the Mediterranean.
However, some nations have been able to do a damn fine job of maintaining their independence and fighting off wave after wave of invader. This video is in honor of them, the nations that are really damn hard to conquer.
I think Afghanistan gonna be in the list. I think Afghanistan or Vietnam. I know, maybe I mean, if my nation isn't in the list, so probably it could be some honorable mention to them.
Attempted to conquer them, they would almost certainly fail. I considered a couple things for this list. Firstly, historical precedent. If your nation's been invaded a lot, and
I would say I would say it out of my pride for my own nation, but well, you could say that's like a. I don't know how much I can recall, but that's like a couple of dozen of invasion that happened to Vietnam in the course of history already, but almost all of it failed. So I could say out of my own bias, there would be some truth in there.
A lot of invaders, I'll pay attention. However, Syria has been invaded 42 times, while France has been invaded
42 times? Okay, that is that's better than my nation for sure. Let me drink some water. Interesting to see a nation got invaded 42 times.
.26. So if France were to fight
42 times in Syria, goddamn, that's interesting. I guess you would also count the Ottomans invasion, Mamluk, right?
about 15 invasions in Syria to fight off 20, that would be much more impressive.
France got invaded 26 times. But what did you say? A lot of time the Syrian government, the Syrian nations got fallen into different dynasties.
For France. Some countries on this list have only been invaded a couple
I know
times.
the history
simply because
that much.
invading them would be so hard it would be foolhardy. Secondly, geography is an important consideration. All the nations on this list have some form of geographical aid.
Yeah, in terms of Vietnam, we do have strong jungles over here and mountains over on the northern terrain, right? Some mountains, not all, but we do have jungles as our natural borders. And apart from jungles, we do also have this mountain range we call Hoàng Liên Sơn. But and I might for all the English colonial speaking countries.
For example, the Germans and Assyrians are pretty good fighters, but both are surrounded by violent peoples on all sides on a plain. Also, the societies have to have some military
And the Germans.
skill.
This guy were genocidals. But the Assyrians, right?
The Democratic Republic of the Congo, for example, is a thick jungle. Its main river has some of the biggest waterfalls ever, and diseases have prevented colonization until 100 years ago. However, these geographic challenges meant that the native societies never developed far enough to fight off invaders. Also, I'm not playing the everybody but a big neighbor rule. Take Canada or Ireland, both of which are relatively hard to conquer, are surrounded by large bodies of water, except
I don't know if any countries would have interest in Canada. They do have the natural oil and gas, but they also buddy up with the USA, right? And why would you find the reason to invade Canada? It's just basically asking for suicide, basically.
except if you're their massive neighbor who could or did.
And most of their landmass is really hard to traverse through, by the way, because most of them are tundras and stuff like that, and they do really have a good, they do really have a large landmass, and you cannot control them all.
Conquer them with ease. So with that, let's get on with this. Number 10, Ethiopia. Most of you probably know
Ethiopia, surprisingly, okay.
That wasn't colonized by
Italy, Mussolini kind of failed his campaign over in Ethiopia, right? So I'd like to hear more.
the Europeans. They were able to successfully fight off an Italian army in 1897. Some of you are going to mention Liberia, but
1897. That's before World War One, so that's interesting.
really that was an American colony. That's part of this, but not all of it. Ethiopia also resisted an odd 1,500 years of constant Muslim invasion from the north and east. Among its neighbors, it's fought off an invasion from both Somalia in the 70s and a few from Sudan. The only time it's been successfully conquered was in 1937 by the Italians, when the technological gap grew so great, and the Italians used
Mussolini didn't really fail, right? But after that, they don't really manage to hold Ethiopia that well. So I think most of it is the failure.
poison gas. So why is this the case? The reasons are partly geographic and partly societal. Most of Ethiopia's population is in the mountainous center of the country. As we'll find time and time again
There looks to be a lot of mountains.
in this list, mountains are a big plus because they're
Also, if I recall, Ethiopia has the downstream. It should have hold the upstream of the Nile rivers. So I know how it's called. That's like a giant lake that is like the upstream of the Nile rivers. But interesting fact.
They're physically hard to conquer, but they also produce hardy warriors that make them even more difficult to conquer. Also, it's been pretty much the most developed spot in sub-Saharan Africa for 2,000 years. It's been an advanced kingdom since around 300 AD, while most of Africa was tribal. If anyone in the area would be able to form an organized defense, it would...
Yeah, somehow they have the Coptic religion, right? And maybe there's some European influence that they managed to follow Christ. But maybe the Christ believer also spread there from the during the classical age. I don't know. I don't really know about the history of Ethiopian people. Sorry.
Would be Ethiopia. It was also Christian while most of its enemies were Muslim, creating a cultural rift against its enemies and a sense of urgency in its defense. The reason I put it so low on this list is because the competition was honestly not so great. I mean, its historically important neighbors are Somalia and Sudan, which aren't exactly world-spanning conquerors. Further south in Africa was pretty underdeveloped. Part of the reasons the Ethiopians were unconquered was because they were in the corner of the map in board game terms. If we put Ethiopia in Afghanistan or Armenia's geographic place, I'm simply not sure they would have had such a stellar record. Maybe as Africa develops in the future, we might see the Kenyan...
I think Ethiopia should be as big as Egypt or France. Maybe it's a little bit smaller than France. But it's still a big country regardless. It should be equal to Spain, right?
or Chadian empires conquer Ethiopia.
The Chadian Empire. Very nice joke over there.
More likely Ethiopia will be the conquering empire. Number 9. Brazil. First of all, this is a feckin' huge country.
Oh, there we go.
It's larger than the
My
continental United
transport arrived.
States, or in other terms, larger than all of Western Europe combined, as well as Japan, the Koreas, Thailand, Pakistan, Syria, and Guyana. Geographically, having a massive rainforest, nearly twice the size of European Russia in the north.
The Brazilians also have coast, right? But yeah, most of their jungle most of their land should be jungle, which are defendable. Although I don't know if their troops would hold their troop would host in the jungle region, because I mean it should be inhospitable to both sides, right? But I digress.
As well as mountains in the east.
Even to the defending side as well. Why would you hold into those land? I would like to ask.
East and the west also helps. Brazil has been invaded 3 times in its history. Firstly by the Portuguese, which succeeded enormously and is why we have Brazil today. Secondly by the Dutch, who were driven back, and thirdly by the Paraguayans, who failed.
The Dutch were driven back. That's interesting. Interesting to see the Dutch also managed to take a hold of Brazil. Probably got driven back by Portuguese, right?
So badly, they had to resort to polygamy to deal with all the widows from the war. As said before, Brazil's size is its main asset. I don't know of any military ever in existence that would be able to subdue the nation. This is what has happened for all of our timeline's invasions of Brazil. Both the Dutch and the Paraguayans ran out of steam, and then the Brazilians rolled them back. I mean, just imagine what an American, the greatest military power of today's invasion of Brazil, would look like. The Americans had probably seized all the nearly coastal cities like Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Belém, Recife, etc., alongside the mouth of the Amazon, and then run out of steam trying to subdue the enormous countryside. And after 20 years of political candidates whining at the legitimacy and necessity of the war, would pull out. Brazil is so low on this list because I see no evidence of martial skill among the Brazilian people. There are no world-famous Brazilian generals.
Yeah, I think the Brazilian lack combat experience because their borders is a bit well secured, right? I think the Brazilian border is well secured, so for the hostile foes. I mean, a lot of them are also Brazilian allies as well. I think a lot of Latin American countries would still be allied to Brazil. So they don't really have any threats. So their military don't really have a lot of experience, so to say. They don't have a rich combat history. Sorry. You drink some water.
No military campaigns that are admired for their genius, and no Brazilian military elites that Sabaton could sing songs about. To be honest, I see very little evidence the Brazilians are in a good position because of what they've done versus the hand they got. Number 8. The Byzantine Empire. For those of you that don't know, the
Byzantine, really? I guess there's a lot of mountain range in Anatolia, so probably, and Byzantine has like a famous history, or infamous according to what you believe?
Byzantine Empire was the Greek-speaking remnant of the Roman Empire that kept going for 1,000 years after the rest of the empire fell, being conquered by the Turks in 1453. For those of you who say this isn't a country anymore and shouldn't count, firstly, it's my channel and I get to do what I want, and secondly, time is relative and the Byzantine Empire will have probably existed for far longer than most countries in the world today will. And finally, I'm making an exception, and this is the only historic nation on this list, so don't get too excited, history nerds. When I'm referring to the Byzantine Empire, I'm referring to the geographic heartland of the empire that survived the longest, or modern-day Anatolia and the Balkans. However, in its 1,000-year existence, the amount of invaders the Byzantine Empire shrugged off was simply incredible. It fought off the Goths, Huns, Vikings, Arabs.
After Romans fall, I guess a lot of them have some hostile relation with the Byzantines. I don't know. They were Orthodox as well, so probably by the whole Christendom region as well.
Centuries worth of various kinds of Turks, Avars, Persians, Slavs, Bulgars, and Normans.
That's a lot, yeah. I mean, even invaded by the Normans, of all peoples.
Losing to the Crusaders in the umpteenth Turkish attack. However, these losses were very chancy things, with the three most important battles being lost due to the best general's fear of water, the internal squabbling after the main battle had already technically been won, and the Crusaders backstabbing them at the last moment. Honestly, I would have put the Byzantine Empire's chances of survival as higher than Spain if I was alive in the year 1000. Unlike most of the guys on this list, the Byzantines are here more due to the human element.
Yes, Spain, I guess.
Geographic.
That makes sense.
Yes, the Byzantine geographic position has perks. They controlled the Bosphorus Straits, the entranceway to the Black Sea, which created trade.
Yeah, they control this whole important region. That's what makes it the best for them, and they did really build the walls, you know, the Theolasian walls, if I recall, that fortified this whole region up, and it made Constantinople really defendable.
Also, they controlled Anatolia and the Balkans, whose mountains are recruiting grounds for incredible soldiers. The Anatolians have always been good fighters, whether they've been Hittite, Turkish, Celtic, or Roman. However, they're also...
I guess so. With that many invasion, I mean, you should have been pretty good already. And well, you also have the Roman historical legacies in mind, right?
Wedged between Europe, Asia, and in the early years Africa. This means that they were in a permanent state.
Didn't the Mongols conquer them? If I recall, the Mongolians could not conquer them. If I recall, right? Let me search a little bit. Did the Mongolian invade Byzantine? The Mongols did not ever defeat the Byzantine because they didn't fight. They were allies. Okay, that's interesting. Mongol was Byzantine ally for some reason. Maybe I want to go into that in a bit more in the future. I would like to know why that's the case.
State of fighting off invasion. They're in the geographic center of the world and thus all the edges tried to conquer them. The Byzantines were geniuses at holding their position, however. Starting closest to the capital, the walls of Constantinople were really thick and impressive. Countless invaders broke themselves like water upon a rock against them. Secondly, they developed an efficient system of warlike feudal warlords in Anatolia that made conquering it fairly difficult and defeated countless Arab invasions. The Byzantine military was pretty talented, with good use of both infantry and cavalry, alongside the first flamethrowers. Finally, Byzantine diplomacy was legendary.
There we go.
The Byzantines averted countless wars by clever use of bribes, flattery, and threats. Number 7. Korea. You have to be pretty hard-assed to survive getting wedged between the Japanese and the...
So this is why Korea in Age of Empires 2 have a tower bonus. There we go. But yeah, let's see how Korea is pretty defendable.
Chinese, but that's what the Koreans have done. The Koreans have fought off invasions from those two nations alongside...
I think they have the advantage of these rivers. This river kind of decided the Korean border, so to say, if you don't know. In this timeline, it's a bit different though, but Korean borders nowadays, it's kind of separated by this river. And they do have a lot of mountains a lot of mountains, if you can see. They have mountains over here and on the northern province as well, the southern province, there's a lot of mountains. So you would say if you want to invade Korea, you have to fight a lot of mountainous fort.
The Manchurians and Mongols. My favorite two examples are the Sui Wars and the 1592 Japanese invasion. In the 7th century, the Chinese Sui dynasty invaded Korea, and it failed spectacularly. For example, at the Battle of Salsu River, over 300,000 Chinese troops entered the battle, and only 2,800 left. In the Japanese invasion of 1592, 23 Korean ships.
They also have the turtle ship, right? Interesting how it works.
Using some of the first ironclads ever, defeated over 400 Japanese ships and saved
What's a turtle ship ironclad?
Korea at the Battle of Secheon.
Interesting
The only
relation
successful
there.
invasions have been by the Mongols led by Genghis Khan, who made Korea a relatively independent tributary state. Which is pretty good by Genghis's standards, in which
Very good by Genghis standard instead. Yeah. They happen to make Korea a tributary state, huh? They did try to even invade Japan after that, though, but failed spectacularly, if I recall.
most opponents become Lego skull pyramids. The second time was by the Japanese at the turn of the 20th century, in which modern technology allowed them victory. This is mainly accomplished by a combination of the Korean geography and
I think Korea has their win and has their lose sometimes. Well, after some time, the Korea region got directly controlled by the Japanese, so they failed in some part, and they failed to repel the Mongols' invasion. So, but a lot of times they did win, so give them some benefit of the doubt, I guess.
people. Korea is a mountainous peninsula with burning summers and freezing winters.
Yeah, there we go. Mountains, a lot of mountains.
The tough geography and neighbors have
And probably because of their cold climate as well.
forced the Koreans to become a skilled warrior people to survive, which is what has happened. Number 6, Vietnam.
There we go. I can see my country now. I just hope that my country even appeared on the honorable mention list, but surprised to see it's there now, at number 6. But there we go. gonna see how accurate he's gonna cover here. But before that, I want to do something. So I need to revoke this county church independent. I guess we do not really get our land back, but we're just gonna seize land right after that. I guess that just be the case.
Have I made it clear China's a bad neighbor yet? Like a guy who just can't get the idea.
Yeah, China is like a bully. I think a lot of us thinks China is like a bully that keeps on bullying Vietnam, a smaller nation compared to theirs.
Into his head that a girl isn't that into him. The Chinese have tried to conquer Vietnam 27 times in the last 1,000 years.
27 times. Did he really count? Because I don't really count there would be 27 times, but I think it's a little bit lesser than that. But yeah, maybe if he counts like minor skirmishes, it could be 27 times.
Vietnam was initially founded as a Chinese colony and was once called something along the lines of Little China.
Before 200 AD, Vietnam is still independent, but I digress.
South of China.
I mean, before 200 BC though.
Around 1000 AD, it gained independence, and the cultures are so similar that it's always been a tempting goal for the Chinese to try to reconquer it and make it the 24th province. Kind of like if America kept invading Canada, and the Canadians only survived by becoming
More like American keep fighting Mexico, but Mexico should be a bigger state.
a badass warrior people. We've also all heard of the legendary Vietnam War, in which the North Vietnamese
Vietnam War is just it's like a drop of it's like a droplet into the puddle that we suffered, honestly. So we don't really mind Vietnam War that much. It's just a non-existent compared to our struggles already. Our struggle in the past.
Beat the Americans, a dominant world power, severely outgunned. The only time the Vietnamese military really got conquered was by the French, where again, as before in Korea.
Yeah, only by the French and some Chinese dynasty, I guess. They did rule over Vietnam for thousands of years, so I'll consider it their win. But yeah, the French and some of the time we got ruled over by the Chinese.
Korea and Ethiopia, modern Western technology turned the tide. For Americans, at least, countless movies have hammered in the dangers of the Vietnamese jungle, which death could be behind any leaf or bread.
Meanwhile, the war against, I would say the French did get their win and established their colonial power across the country. But what is this? Manchu's gonna invade. Okay, whatever. But yeah, where was I? It was the French win that they managed to take over the whole Indochina region. But in the terms of the modern Vietnam War between Vietnam and America, I mean, it's more like a civil war because there's like a separate government between the North and the South. But yeah, with that war, I would say it's like during that war, the Americans just got hold of the South, so you could not say that they got hold like an entire Vietnamese region for sure. And at the end, I guess the war only stopped when one side conceded defeat.
Vietnam is also quite mountainous and rugged in many spots. Until modern medicine, the tropical climate's diseases didn't help much either. Meanwhile, the Vietnamese became so militarily skilled because anyone in the area who wasn't militarily skilled.
I mean, we are skilled, but we still need modern equipment. And Soviet, the Soviet, which was the side. The Soviet, which was the side that supported the North, kind of aided us in terms of equipment. So we do have enough equipment to fought off USA. So I guess mainly the reason we won is like contrary to anyone's belief, we do have equipment imported from the Soviet, and we did take advantage of the defendable terrain. Maybe the US would use napalm to bomb our forests, and did use Agent Orange to genetically defeat our population. But well, at the end, it's more like a war exhaustion that ended up make them surrender to Vietnam. So I guess it's mostly about the morale and war exhaustion that and a lot of people were anti-Vietnamese imperialist war over in mainland America. So that's the reason about why they stop Vietnam War altogether. Stop the war altogether. Even though you don't really recall which side were winning, but at the end it's all up to morale.
Guild got cannibalized by China. At that point, it's just Darwinian natural selection. This also applies to Korea. Number 5. This one is kind of famous. Just in the last 200
Yeah, I was about to say Afghanistan would be on the list, and they are on the list.
years, the greatest empires in the world, the British, the Russians, and Americans, have all broken themselves in these mountains in the heart of Asia. A more poignant look is to see who has succeeded. Out of the 19 invasions of Afghanistan, the only successful ones that did more than just pass through were Cyrus's Persians, Alexander's Greeks, and Genghis Khan's Mongols. So, to conquer Afghanistan, one must be one of the greatest military geniuses in history.
I guess they have arid lands, right? And they do have the mountain to back them up. Again, yeah, you can see that's like a pattern. A lot of defendable countries have a lot of mountain range.
This rule has been proved by countless corpses.
And in Vietnam, you have the Ho Chi Minh Trail. If you don't know, like we are kind of have like an alliance between Laotians, and we use this mountain range to our advantage to transport our troops down to the south. And in this mountain range, it's really defendable. So a lot of Americans cannot touch that.
Encouraging. The terrain of Afghanistan is awful. I mean, just look at these mountains. Imagine maintaining a supply chain in those hills or marching men. Like Korea, the summers are boiling and winters frigid. The climate is also arid, creating yet another barrier.
Yeah, I was about to say the arid climate.
Creates a couple issues. Firstly, it's so poor that there's really little point in conquering it. If you want to just pass through into the wealthy fields of India, the local tribal balance of power will totally allow you to stake out a valley to breed in for a generation before you do so. And if you're invading from India northwest... Sorry, that was funny.
Why would that happen? Like, why would that happen? Sorry, that was really funny. Why would that happen? Yeah, Indians have never attacked outward from India.
The rough climate would also bred some of the best warrior peoples in all of history.
India would just stay on India, you know. I wouldn't say they would expand outward. They have the mountain range already, and they have enough population already. Why would they expand?
16 times the tribes of Afghanistan have poured into the Khyber Pass into India. For all of history, Afghans have been prized mercenaries. Hell, they're even fighting in the Syrian civil war right now.
Like even India cannot control their population. Why would they engage in an imperialist war?
The disunity of the Afghan tribes is their greatest advantage. There are no major objectives worth seizing. You seized Kabul, Ghazni, and Herat. Good for you. There are still millions of well-armed tribesmen in the hills that don't give a damn. If you do try and go up into the hills and try to destroy the tribes, they just move. You'll be fighting like a blindfolded man in a ballroom with a knife. So it makes sense why the British decided to deal with Afghanistan by making it a mildly friendly puppet state in Kabul and then leaving it alone. Or most medieval monarchs only cared about the caravan cities and the roads out of Afghanistan, leaving the tribes alone. Number 4. Britain. The English like to brag they've never been conquered or invaded since 1066, a date drilled into their heads since birth. On one hand,
the Norwegian invasion, the Viking invasion. What do you say about that? But yeah, they should be hard to invade because, they are a nice nation.
This is wrong. The Dutch invaded Britain in 1688, and it was so successful.
Sorry if there's any noise, it's just my neighbors.
That it was later called the Glorious Revolution. While the French invasion in 1215 hacked its way deep into the middle of the country, before bad King John died and the English nobles kicked the French out. However, it does make a valid point. While most nations in Europe have been invaded countless times, for England it's only been a handful.
I thought I've warned the Korean to not ally the Mings. I guess we cannot be friends. I'm just gonna drain your money. There we go.
Of course, this does not leave out the countless invasions before 1066. The Romans, Celts, Angles, Saxons, Jutes, Vikings, Gales, or Norman. Actually, my favorite board game ever is Britannia, which is about this era of foreign invasions. Firstly, when you compare this to what countries like France, Italy, or Hungary faced in the same era, it isn't that bad, which leads me to a valuable point.
Nice. My colony managed to win a war here against the native. Well, very expected, I guess.
The English tended to ignore the water before the Vikings. Then their influx probably made the English skilled sailors. Britain's strongest advantage is its island status. When the British became skilled sailors, this made them an unstoppable combination. Britain's island status meant that it could invest in a navy, which meant it didn't need to become embroiled in continental wars or raise large armies. This in a roundabout way allowed the rise of democracy and massive economic and scientific growth. This in turn fortified Britain's position, giving it immense wealth and influence. Britain's naval strength also meant it had the upper hand in colonial wars, which led it to slowly amass the largest empire in history. A word also has to be given out to the British military. Britain has faced an incredible amount of failures and blunders. Gallipoli, Singapore, Braddock's ambush, the Somme, Islands Wana, the entire American Revolution, etc. But it's also had even more remarkable victories to balance it out. Agincourt, Waterloo, Plassey, the Plains of Abraham, Arsuf, the Battle of Britain, Blenheim, Crécy, Poitiers, etc. The English have always been good at having small, high-quality armies, whether that's been the Huscarls, Longbowmen, Drake's Sea Dogs.
Wait, Huscarl? I mean, Huscarl was Gothic, right? But maybe they also have got Huscarl.
Cromwell's New Model Army, or just the regular Tommy.
If you play Age of Empires 2 anyways, you would think Huscarl is Gothic. So it's just my mind.
Any invader of England must face this. Number 3, Japan.
Yeah, pretty much, but what happened if you drop 2 nuclear bombs on top of Japan? Yeah, it didn't turn out that well, did it?
Gee, looks like another island nation for very similar reasons. Unlike Britain, which has been invaded 14 times, Japan's been invaded 1.5.
I think I would need to think. That would be a lot more defendable nation. But he's about to finish with his list already, so maybe it would not come to his mind. But I think Cuba. I think we should give some Cuba some benefit of the doubt, or Taiwan. I would need to mention Taiwan now because even the Chinese right now, you have the political tension between China and Taiwan, right? But you would say that to invade Taiwan, a lot of people would call this like a greatest amphibian assault of all times if it were to happen. So you would need to count Taiwan in.
Half. The first time was between 500 and 300 BC, when the ancestors of the Japanese migrated from Korea and displaced the native Ainu peoples. The second time, which I counted as a half, is when the Americans nuked Hiroshima and Nagasaki to prevent an invasion at the end of the Second World War,
there we go.
and the Japanese surrendered. If the US did invade, it would have been a nasty campaign with asterisk.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the biggest one was Doolittle raid, and it involves a lot of bombings. Just so you know.
Economical casualties on all sides involved, but I made a video on that, link in the description. The Mongols tried to invade twice, but their fleet was blown away by a typhoon or a hurricane, both times with the stragglers.
Yeah, the Mongols tried.
On the beaches.
Give them F for effort.
Japan's island status is a big contributor. It's larger than Britain, and also the Straits of Tsushima between Japan and Korea are 6 times the distance as the Straits of Dover between England and France. This has also been helped by China being an inwardly focused nation, Manchuria not having a naval culture, Taiwan and the Philippines being tribal until very recently, and Korea, well, as we've talked about before, they had bigger issues. Perhaps this lack of naval competition and oceanic connection is what prevented the Japanese from building up a navy and colonial network like the British did in our world. Japan is fairly homogeneous, with the only other group being the now nearly extinct Ainu, the indigenous population of the North Island, Hokkaido, that lost control in the 17th century. This is unlike Britain, where you can tear Wales, England, the Irelands, and Scotland apart to conquer the islands. And finally, like everyone else on this list, Japan is a very mountainous country. The Japanese have always been skilled warriors. The Japanese have a proud military tradition that involves samurai, warrior monks, banzai charges, and kamikaze flyers. The Japanese have also been skilled in adopting foreign technologies, whether that's been muskets in the 16th century, the Gatling gun in the 19th, the stirrup in the 5th, or whatever the hell they're going to adapt now that they're rearming. Number 2, Russia. You guys have got to have seen...
Yeah, Russia. Yeah, Russia is a good, it's a good point. Russia is a good point. You can see this is like so many failings already, like how Napoleon invaded Russia. And probably back then you have the Kievan Roosevelt would act like Russia, but I cannot recall much history from there, but I can recall from the Napoleonic War, and Napoleon does some stupid decision to invade Russia, and probably he overextend himself, but given that the case. But they also have the infamous World War II as well. In World War One, I think Russia is more like in the offensive side. But World War II, Hitler decided to invade Russia, and Battle of Stalingrad is still the bloodiest battle in history. But to no avail. The German cannot invade Russia. I mean, they did manage to get into the Kaliningrad, the Kalinin, I don't know what to call them. I forgot the name, but yeah, there should be some kind of borders that divide dividing how far you can invade Russia. And after that, it's just gonna be really hard.
Seen this one coming. The difficulty of conquering Russia is legendary. The Swedes, French, Teutonic Knights not...
The Teutonic Knight, yeah. Actually the Teutonic Knight used to invade Russia, yeah. When it was a whole bunch of principalities, yeah.
Nazis and Poles have all broken their backs on this nation. However, this leaves out that the Kaiser, Mongols, and basically Vikings have succeeded here. Although invading Russia is difficult, it can be done correctly. We all know why Russia is hard to conquer. This is the largest country on Earth and has biting winters that slowly freeze off the limbs of invading armies. It always annoys me when people say, don't invade Russia in the winter. No one has ever done this. You could invade Russia at any time.
I think you gotta mention Finland as well, just because of the Winter War, but I think they should be in the honorable mention list.
It would be around February, when you could be close to your supply depots in the winter fighting and have as much of the year as possible before the next winter. However, the Russian mud is so awful in the spring that invading is practically impossible until the last...
excuse me, but we need to actually win this siege stick, because I need to end this real soon before I get one of the nation over here to be my tributary. Let me just fabricate claim and get my diplomat back. That should be a smart way to do it.
Last week of June. Napoleon invaded Russia on June 21st, and Hitler on June 22nd for the same reason. Russia is so huge that getting anywhere will take the whole season. The drive from the German border to Moscow in World War II was 700 miles, or roughly the same distance from New York to Chicago, or from Barcelona to London. And if you make it to Moscow, cool. So did Napoleon and the Polish. There's only 4,000 miles left to the other side of Russia, which, by the way, is closer to Australia than it is to Moscow.
Like, why would you need to conquer the whole Russian landscape? You don't need to do that.
The Russians aren't a skilled military in the same way the Japanese or the British are than we talked about before. Russian military history is filled with horrifying incompetence and stunning losses. However, the Russians have an unbelievable tenacity, loyalty, stoicism, and bravery. Plus, there's a hell of a lot of them. There are 150 million Russians, which used to be much more impressive before America's population doubled and the Third World's...
and the whole Soviet breakaway. That's gonna be less Russian when a whole lot of them got lost, you know, with the breakaway state.
It's more than quintupled. Well, Russia has remained stagnant, but still makes it the most populous nation in Europe almost by a factor of 2. German soldiers in the Second World War were continually shocked by how Russian troops seemed to take the most horrifying conditions and traumas and still somehow managed to keep going. I have 2 examples of this, both from the Second World War. Firstly, the Russian military always prioritized oil and bullets before food. The average Russian soldier was just supposed to scrounge up food from the local...
that's why a lot of famine happened. if you know the Holodomor, 4 million, if I recall, 4 million Ukrainian people died. Or was it 1 million? should be 4 million people died, so it was horrible.
Country. Need I remind you, this isn't in the Middle Ages. They were still planning on doing this during the 1980s. Secondly, when the Russians discovered a minefield, they were just expected to march forward as if it wasn't there. The logic was that the losses were no different from actually fighting the enemy in an engagement.
I think the sole reason that Ukraine kind of hate Russia right now because of the Holodomor and a whole lot of different factors. But I rest my case.
So how do you conquer Russia? The main necessity is that Russia needs to be divided. The Kaiser was able to exploit the divisions between communists and non-communists. Meanwhile, when the Mongols invaded, Russia was a collection of principalities, and when the Vikings arrived, Russia was a collection of Slavic tribes that probably didn't even have a word for unity. The failed invasion that probably got closest to working was Charles XII of Sweden's invasion in 1714. The Cossacks of the Ukraine were planning on defecting to him, giving him their massive grain, and Russia was so disorganized that the lords would have probably torn it apart if
it could be it could be Ukraine that used to be a really rebellious. Yeah.
The central authority failed. Hey, I have a video on that. Number 1, the United States of America.
Really? I mean, yeah, really.
As an American, this may just seem...
I can give Americans some doubt, some benefit of the doubt, but they have a big land. How can they defend them all? But I mean, speaking of military, I mean the Americans do have a lot of military equipment and personnel, right? So that's the sole reason of why it's so defendable. It's just the sheer power of American military, I guess. But from the geographic kind of points, I don't see how that could be. I mean, they do have the coast and they do have defendable. Coast, but I don't see much more point on how America should be more defendable compared to a lot of different nations.
Seem like nationalistic chest beating, but it's actually accurate. The United States as the world exists today is in a nearly perfect geographic and strategic position. It's so perfect that one of America's strategic weaknesses is that it can just stop caring about the outside world and retreat into its own neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's like American isolationism, but you would still need to explain how Americans still have their interests overseas. I mean, still giving Americans benefit of the doubt, though. They don't really, control them lands. They just all want to spread their influence.
Let the rest of the world burn. The United States has been invaded what amounts to really 4 times. If I wanted to be really nerdy and pedantic, I'd mentioned how the Apache in 4000 BC fought their way from...
Although a lot of people still agree that Vietnam War was a mistake. Yeah.
From Siberia to the Mexican border, thus importing the bow into the New World. But besides that, the Spanish invaded in the 16th century, burned a lot of the south, lost interest, and then took over much of the southwest. Then the French built some forts in the Midwest. Then the Anglo-Americans caused the most successful invasion of the continent, the one that founded America and Canada as we understand them today. Finally, the British occupation during the American Revolution in real terms amounts to an invasion, and then the British launched a final assault on the war.
We should all know this already. The French got hold of Louisiana, but the British managed to have some deal with the French as well. I don't know if it turned out to be successful, but I cannot recall. But after that we have the Mexican-American War, right after independence for like about 20 years or so, if I recall.
12 against upstate New York, Maine, Maryland, and New Orleans, which was defeated. The U.S.'s geographic hand is near perfect. It surrounded on both sides by at least 3,000 miles of ocean. It's flanked to both the north and the south by completely ineffective neighbors. The U.S. itself is...
Yeah, I guess they have weak neighbors, yeah. The U.S. have weak neighbors, and they turn out to be U.S. allies for all pupils. So it is pretty hard to invade the U.S. because they're so far out compared to... they're so far out to different countries. No, I mean compared to a U.S. enemy, it should be China right now, but China is so far away. Like the Chinese Navy need to go all the way to this region, and apart from that, you also have the First Islands chain that kind of hold the Chinese Navy back. So you have the First Island chain, and that includes Taiwan as well. And probably the second island chain would be the island over in Micronesia and Hawaii that we're gonna block the Chinese Navy, and you have Alaska as well. So yeah, I mean, they really do have barriers against China if they happens to be a threat.
Self-sufficient in almost everything: oil, food, wood, ore, industry, cotton, etc. The US itself is 3,000 miles across, with relative cultural homogeneity, mountains as barriers on both sides, and a massive lake and river network holding the middle together. The US has deserts, forests, mountains, grasslands, tropical swamps, and Arctic tundras. The US is the third most populous nation on Earth, with the population spread out all over, thus preventing an easy wipeout.
Yeah, I
of
mean,
Central
geographically, I mean, inland geographic, I mean, some countries might have been better than compared to US though. But in terms of seas geographic, in terms of a continent geographic, I guess the US could win here.
area. In any reasonable world, the United States wouldn't be one country, but would be around 20. However, a combination of technological superiority, economic dynamism, and remarkable population growth allowed the United States to be a single country. Although it's almost never phrased that way, the Americans are one of the most successful warrior peoples in history. They have combined the British emphasis on quality with a brutal practicality and a near worship of...
Yeah, in turn, they copy the British doctrine in some part, right?
gadgets.
They managed to establish themselves as like a naval hegemony, so I guess they copied the British doctrine.
To create a potent and deadly combination. The South, especially, springing from its Scots-Irish Cavalier roots, has added disproportionately to the military. However, even the Yankees, left to their own devices,
There we go,
are capable
finally.
of making probably the best military on Earth, with remarkable fortitude and skill. This doesn't even mention the American people, who are the best armed on Earth and are violently patriotic. The United
Of course. I mean, in terms of politics, you Americans are pretty divided, right? But if one countries happen to invade you, I think you can see with like how the war on terror kind of started just because some attack kind of happened in the Twin Towers, right? But just from that one attack, it kind of prompts a whole chain reaction from America. And what happened if they got invaded? Well, that's an entirely different history for you. I mean, that's an entirely different scenario for you. But you can always see what's gonna happen if that's the case.
The United States is able to benefit from Britain's stability, economic strength, technological progress on a continental scale. Two things can erase the strategic dominance. As a cycle of history continues and empires fall, it seems more than probable that United America could collapse into a series of squabbling states. America's strategic dominance seems simply too good to be true, and this is a much more balanced alternative. Secondly, if we see Latin America, and especially Mexico, rise over the next couple hundred years, it would put serious pressure on the southern border. This is America's main weak spot, its border with 130 million man Mexico. A wealthy Latin American coalition, perhaps led by Brazil, could challenge America for dominance of the Western Hemisphere.
But why would they do that though? Latin America have no use to invade US, I would say.
Also, space warfare would change everything.
What is he saying here? This video was already deemed long enough. Alright. So probably it's over now. So yeah, check it out. 10 countries that are hardest to conquer by. What about this? I will leave a link in the description. But right now I need to finish something up. What is the province that we? Yeah, there we go. Over here. I need some points to call them, but before that, I need to establish some tributaries. This is what I'm waiting for. Establish tributaries. There we go. Yeah, we'll protect in terms of the native, in terms of our some of the native, weaker native tribes. I think we can put a little bit of goodwill to protect them as if possible. We don't want them to get conquered by a bigger imperial force. Although you could say that the bigger imperial force was Tenoch clan or the Aztec Empire used to be before. But with this small native land, we would be able. I think it's our best interest to protect them and just gonna establish tributaries to them. That's gonna be so fun, establishing different tributaries in the Americas. Hope they can learn more from my technologies. I can send. I can establish the tributary to this guy as well, so I don't mind to start doing it all together, and probably I could build them some fort. Probably I cannot because they still have their native building, but this guy seems to be able to build on top. This guy as well. Although they need to develop their land first before I can do anything. But for my extra points, I can do something here. I can in the future I would have so much tributary. But I guess we can call it well with today's stream. That yeah, we can call it with today's stream, and I have nothing else to comment. So thanks to all of you who come to this today's stream. This has been me, Sui, and this has been episode 17 of me playing to playing to Vietnam in our EU4 campaign. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoy your stay, and if you enjoy my content, feel free to leave a like and a subscribe, because if you do that, YouTube gonna recommend. You're gonna help me a lot, and you're gonna help me a lot of favor by spreading my content around, and let the YouTube algorithm got to notice my content and spread it to more of you guys. So it's a way to support this channel for now, because I haven't enabled like an advertisement and stuff like that. So it'll be a great help, and I would appreciate if you spread my content around. And this has been me, Zui. Hope you enjoy your stay, and as always, humanity first. Stay safe, everybody.